Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 798. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
We have another Torchwood commentary as we barrel through these to get them over with, essentially, because everything...
we're more than halfway there.
Yeah, I know. They keep killing Suzie, because Suzie is back.
They really do.
In this episode, so that's happening here. Last week we had Heather on, who was great. It was a lot of fun. Warren is off killing bears in the wild.
I killed no bears.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good, because the bears are good. Do not kill bears, because they will kill you first, probably, if you try to kill them. So
wow, this is quite the nature film we've just
even Gentle Ben.
Even Gentle Ben. Gentle Ben was played. Where was Gentle Ben from? Was he from
Colorado? I don't know. Wherever they filmed Grizzly Adams.
Grizzly Adams, that's right. He was in Grizzly Adams. Forgot that was
as much of a cocaine fiend as Grizzly Adams himself. So
whoa, Dan Haggerty, yeah. So we like our news.
The 70s.
Our news list was like 50. Like we had fun. It was a fun time, and like we started to think like, do we place too much importance on this show about having to provide like a feature item? Do you people, the listeners, care every single week? What's the commentary this week? Are they doing an interview? Is there a mini scope? That sort of thing. Or are you here for this? I'm genuinely curious.
You fools.
I'm genuinely curious if you're just here to like have hear people talk about Doctor Who for an hour or something a week, or are you here is this just delaying what you're really coming here for, which is a commentary on Torchwood or other stuff? I'm genuinely curious. Tweet at us.
Three
Don't
months.
digress about that.
Yeah.
Digress about this other thing.
Yeah.
3 months short of 15 years, and now he wants to do market research.
A little bit. Like it's becoming time to be a little
A/B testing, if you will.
a little introspective. Like, why do you listen to this show? Is it for this? Is it for that? Tweet at us. Just comment on Facebook, comment on the website, radiofreescar.com. I'm genuinely curious to see, if we are needlessly trying as hard to entertain you when the stuff you really like is actually the stuff you go, oh, now the commentaries start, and delete. Genuinely curious. Call this market research after 15 years. Call this finally looking into our own navels and going, what's going on with this podcast?
Yeah, it's just, I think it's like Steven's midlife crisis navel gazing.
A little bit.
Ooh.
It's been 15 years. I mean, I enjoy it.
Please, that's the hashtag,
Yeah.
by the way. Steven's naval crisis. Naval crisis. Half-life gazing.
Wow. I mean,
NAVAL. He's trying to invade Guam.
Yeah.
And,
I enjoy this part of the show because, we have a news list that Chris ably provides every single week, and it just basically gives us a springboard to talk about Doctor Who or other stuff, as is sometimes the case.
we got other stuff this week.
I know, but, like for a show that is in production and thus, is completely silent about telling people that they are making that show, it's we still managed to get a large amount of discussion out of the show from week to week.
If you want like third-party set report pieces, then those are out there to be had.
I don't want them. I know. I saw one floating around as a meme this past week from some shooting somewhere, and I won't even talk about what it is because I don't want to spoil it or anything like that. But no, we don't delve into spoiler talk around here. So we have other stuff to talk about. Like conventions and COVID and other things, because it's weird how I said this before recording, like every 4.5 minutes, my attitude towards the future of humanity changes somewhat, and
mine is constant pessimism.
Yeah, you're thankfully you balance it out, Warren, because I'm a roller coaster sometimes, and
you're more like the dog from Up than ever before.
I've never seen Up. So I know there's a guy, he's sad, he's old, and he's in a house that's being carried by balloons.
Played by Ed Asner.
Ed Asner. That's all I know about up. I was doing the math, and because I had my AstraZeneca shot on April 23rd. Warren, you had like a week later-ish.
29th,
and they're recommending.
And I just realized yesterday that I'm past the 2-week period where it actually starts to kick in.
Yeah,
you are teeming with antibodies.
It starts to kick in.
Festering even.
The longer you have that first dose in you without getting your second dose, the more antibodies are being built, we're learning now. And so, like, by the time that basically, at some point you do have to get your second one, otherwise it just sort of peters out. And that, for me, 12 weeks since my shot is like mid-July. I can't remember the exact date, but around there, mid-July. Chris is even earlier, because you had yours in
April 3rd.
April 3rd, 3 weeks before us. And right now they're not even Pfizer shots in between are sooner than AstraZeneca. But the long story short here is that by August, all three of us will most likely have had our second shots, and it'll be like within our systems and stuff. So then you look at the CDC coming out in the U.S. going, hey, everyone who's had their shot and fully vaccinated can take off their mask, which is perfectly fine. Not
in all circumstances, though. It's not universal.
No, it's not universal. But
I found it interesting that not just my skeptical self, but of many, many, many Americans, people I know and don't know, said, just got to hold off for a little bit. How about that, CDC?
But all of a sudden, it's happening soon. Canada's getting like $4.5 million doses of Pfizer and Moderna this week. By Alberta here, who is in a world of poop, could very well quickly turn the tide by having most of our like 75% of our population with the first dose by early June. I saw.
No thanks to your beloved leader.
Yes, of course. Yep. I'm sure these vaccines just showed up on our doorstep without anyone, the federal government acquiring them whatsoever. So what I'm saying is that it feels awful. Everything is terrible. All of a sudden, it's not. And this is why.
And then 4.5 minutes later, it is.
It is again. So just bear with me. This is where I am right now at this exact moment.
Chronic hysteresis, if you will.
A tiny bit. So, the CDC says in the States, hey, everyone, if you were vaccinated, you don't have to wear masks, mostly. Which could, that creates other problems because now it basically turns every single restaurant and grocery store into their own security force saying, we still have a mask policy and this thing. And then you have to tell people the government told us this. So guess what? I'm not wearing a mask. The return of conventions, the return of actual Doctor Who conventions in September in the UK with Whooverville, September 4th at the Derby Quad. Jeez. And the return of, if you will, Li Who with Time Flight. Li Who presents Time Flight happening November 20th and 21st in Long Island. That seems a very far way away, but, in a couple months, all three of us will be mostly vaccinated. So is it that far away?
And they're ahead of us.
Well.
The UK isn't, I mean.
Yeah, they are, but Canada's very quickly catching up. Very quickly catching up. I think by next week, we will have the number one vaccination rate in all of G20 countries, I believe, or at least the G8. So we're catching up. So, of course, we're not having these conventions in Canada, but it does mean that maybe borders can open and we can start thinking about these things again. So, yeah. Your thoughts, gentlemen. Again, the weekly thing about...
I'm like you, but with a 4-day turnaround.
Right.
For 4 days. I'm optimistic, and then I'm like, we're all screwed. Look, this variant here. Well, nothing's ever going to go back to the same. To hell with everything. Everything's wonderful. I got to put my mask back on. So, not that I'm not going to. It's just, annoying.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I mean,
if this pandemic has taught me anything, it's to just wait and see.
It is a wait and see thing, but it does show you how quickly things can change. Because I know, when Gallifrey 1 announced that, we're coming back in 2022, but masks will almost certainly be a thing. Like this was back in what, like a month ago that Sean was sort of saying that, and now the CDC says if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. So,
I mean, that's I would assume that's the convention's call, isn't it?
I guess so, but
convention or hotel or
both, right? Yeah.
For whatever it's worth in the States.
Right.
So yes, the CDC has made this proclamation. However, state rules override that.
Yeah.
So whatever the state government says goes. So it doesn't matter what the CDC says if the state still says masks or distancing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So
I imagine it's the same here in the provincially.
Oh, but yeah, no. In Canada, healthcare has been provincial for ages.
Yeah.
Just like marriages and education and other things that have almost never been federal. Yeah. So I mean, like as far as cons and stuff are concerned, September for Whooverville. The UK has been doing really, really well on vaccinations.
That's
and all
what
that.
I think. Yeah.
There's the it has happened or is about to happen where I think they're formally allowing hugging again in the UK.
That's true. I
just want to see the very British announcement. Hugging is now allowed. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't remember
for the first time ever in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the way they phrased it, but it was a very British way of saying it. It's like sort of a gentle hugging of some sort.
Touch and embrace.
You may embrace.
Yeah.
So I mean, things happening in person in September because that's still 4 months away,
right?
Or whatever it is. What was I forget the exact date?
September 4th. Yeah.
It's almost 4 months away.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, lots can happen between now and then. Lots of good can still happen.
Mm-hmm.
So Whooverville happening then may not be a bad thing. 2.5 months later in New York State for LA for Time Flight. It could be that much better. And then, almost 3 months later, that much better again for Galley, possibly. So whether that means like a third/booster shot, just for extra robustness or whatever. I mean, it's at this point, yeah. Who the
Why do you need your booster shot, sir? Well, I'm going to a convention.
Yeah, I could totally see the booster shot being, I've been reading this. This is what one does these days: is one stays indoors still, lets the vaccine do its work, and read up on COVID stuff to try and make myself feel better about stuff. Not like conspiracy theory stuff, like actual stuff in published medical journals and things like that. And I'm reading that the flu vaccine that we take basically changes more from year to year, and because the flu is a much more quote unquote fluid virus because it's sort of
no pun intended
because it adapts more so, and COVID right now is not even with the variants, it doesn't vary as much. So a booster shot probably with your your annual flu shot, which I've been taking for the past 3 or 4 years now. Like, that sounds like a normal thing. And I'm okay with that. Maybe work it in. Put the COVID into my flu shot, and I will take that happily. And
well, it's not like they haven't done mixed vaccines before, like MMR and all that. So.
Oh, yeah, the flu shot is an amalgam of everything, of a whole bunch of different flu shots each year that we're still taking to ward off the effects of the 1919 flu epidemic. That's fascinating. I find that quite fascinating. Yeah.
In other news, I might complain about masks, but man, it has been nice not to be sick other than being woozy from a vaccine.
Oh my God.
A year and a half.
Yeah, I know. Like, just for Concrete alone, I'm like, you know what? I might just keep this mask on for Concrete again.
I hadn't even thought about the Concrete angle, but that's a big consideration, honestly.
It's incentive, isn't it? Yeah.
And at least nothing. At least if nothing else. So if you're walking, we'll go with Galley because that's where we're going to be.
Yep.
In all likelihood, anyway. A couple of years ago, even on the cusp of COVID, if you walked around the con floor with a mask on, you're probably going to get a lot of strange looks. And now, of course, that mask wearing has been normalized.
Yeah.
If you walk around the con floor with a mask on, no matter where the world is at, people probably won't even bat an eyelash.
No, I don't think so.
Not as much as they used to, that's for sure.
No. So, anyway, this is where the 4.5 minutes are right now. Things are looking up once again. Ask me tomorrow ask me today when the new COVID numbers come out for Alberta. Like, oh, still haven't gone down very much.
That is Sunday, so you'll probably get that tomorrow anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope everyone is staying safe out there and getting vaccinated, because the more people get vaccinated, the more events that we can do and have fun at, and not have to worry about those 4.5 minutes where I change my mind again and stuff. We'd extend my worry time to like 5.5 or 6 minutes even. You know, like I can.
The world healing is worth that effort.
Yeah, I can ride that wave. Think about my mental health at this point, won't you?
That's the most important thing.
Thank
yours. Your mental health and yours alone.
Thank you. It's been 1 week since you look. No, it's 20.
That's terrible.
20,
Shame on your Canadian reference.
25 years since the Doctor Who TV movie aired, everyone. May 12th, of course, in Edmonton. May 14th for the rest of North America. May 27th coming up for the UK is the 25th anniversary of the original broadcast there. Coinciding with that, Yi Ji So, of course, played Chang Li in the TV movie.
Vancouver Zone
is doing a new ebook version of his book Time and Spaces. Time and Spaces came out in 2016, 15, and
2016.
And it was basically a then and now kind of thing about the locations and places that they shot the TV movie in around Vancouver. Some of the places don't exist anymore. Like, I was really surprised by when I read that book. Like, you know, in between the TV movie and even like now, some of these places.
Oh yeah, even like sort of near where they're talking about. Within a few years, there was so much gentrification. I'm like, well, where did all this come from?
Yeah,
and that's somebody who lives here. so he's not wrong when he says, yeah, a lot has changed.
A lot has changed. You know, they should have thought. I mean, come on, this is there should be blue plaques everywhere. This is where they filmed the ambulance chase. You know. Eric Roberts.
Blue plaques, which aren't a thing in Vancouver.
Eric Roberts on this spot shouted, "This is an ambulance." He shot this.
I mean,
right
the
here.
The Brits do fake ones. There's no reason I couldn't put some fake
Why
ones
not?
up.
Yeah, put a plaque up or something. Sponsor a bench. Anyway, Yuji So is putting on it because it's his own deal, because the initial book, which celebrated the 20th anniversary, hence 1996, 2016 rather. It came out via Milk Publishing. Milk Publishing, sadly, was a casualty of the pandemic. So Yuji So is now on his own putting out a revised version. He's produced a narrated audio-visual online edition featuring the on-set photography, production documents, and an original soundtrack, because he's a musician too. Online access will be available May 27th, which is, of course, the 25th anniversary of the original UK broadcast. So, it's like $19, and it's cheap. It's good. It's a really good book. The original version I had, we had EG on the show back when he was releasing the original version of the book. Links in the show notes. You can pre-order the online version. There's a 30% off deal to the 30th anniversary print edition, which is, of course, coming in 2026 as well. So, it's a good book. It's an interesting look into how it was made. There's shots of the actual set as well, like, the behind-the-scenes constructions of the actual studio as well in that book, too. So, links in the show notes or yijiso.com/book. To get
okay, I have a question.
Back in the day, we got a digital copy of the book, and I'm just kind of skimming through that right now.
Yeah, it's a cool book.
Fun.
It's a cool book.
So my question is,
right.
The big fireworks kiss scene, which caused such controversy amongst nerds, where was that? Was it in a park or another public location, or was that on a building or something? I don't remember exactly what it was.
I think it was somewhere. It was an actual location, I think, somewhere. They obviously...
Okay, so if it's a park, then I'm going to find a bench near it, put a plaque that says, on this location, the Doctor kissed Grace, and caused a lot of nerds to be very angry.
Very angry indeed, yeah.
So it's at some park by Kitts Beach.
Okay, great, perfect.
You know where that is.
I'm going back.
Yeah. I'll say on this day on blah 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 1990, whatever it was. Dr. Dr. Who kissed his companion Grace, half human Dr. Who kissed his companion Grace,
rolling it,
which made everyone very happy.
Mm-hmm. Everyone
just trolled the living hell out of any nerd who sits on that bench,
uniting Doctor Who fans like never before.
Page,
because most of those tributes are like, to my loving wife who loved this spot, and I'll just be like, I'm going to cause trouble.
Page 40 just says that the park is adjacent to Kitts Beach.
Good
so
to
I'm
know.
assuming Kitsilano, so West Van.
There you go.
Yes, you are correct. Mm-hmm. Yes, I know exactly where that is.
Yeah. Well, check.
I'm sure everybody's thrilled with this interesting Vancouver.
How far is that from Wreck Beach?
Quite.
famous, right?
'Cause that's
Quite
also
a ways.
West Van. That's UBC area. So.
West Van is not Kitsilano. Those are two different.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean the west of.
And Wreck Beach has nothing to do with West Van.
No, that's by UBC.
No,
No?
no,
Isn't it?
no. It's very confusing. West Van is its own city.
Yeah.
North Van is its own city. Below that is Vancouver's Western Point, which is
That's
where
what I'm
UBC
thinking
is,
of.
which is where Wreck
Vancouver's
Beach is.
Western
Yes.
Point.
I
Then.
just
Sorry.
Just like the West End is downtown. It doesn't make any sense unless you live
No, I just want to
Yeah.
point out that Chris
Just like
is
London's West End is central.
Chris is trying to tell
Exactly.
Warren the city about the city
I'm
that
not trying to
Warren's
tell him.
lived in for like 25 years.
Well, he's failing, so here we are.
Yeah. Anyway, the book, Time and Space, is a photojournal of Doctor Who filming. Pre-order the online version now. Links in the show notes at radiofreescaro.com. Help support a great book and a great guy. Yuji So is excellent, and he's, I think we discussed about what an interesting career he's had in the past, just because he shows up in so much stuff that is filmed in Vancouver, but he also has like a day job as well. So, and he's a musician too, so.
Yep. And
A
most
real Renaissance
recently that I've seen, Snowpiercer.
That's right. He's in the TV series version of that, right? Yeah.
Which this is when I find out things are shot here, because I just don't. The other day I found out there was a fire near City Hall, and it turned out it was Batwoman. I'm like, I didn't know they made Batwoman here. It makes sense because everything else CW is made here, but I had no idea.
No. They do. All right. Let's. The latest in the fallout of the Noel Clarke John Barrowman saga means that John Barrowman's filmed cameo for the the immersive theater experience, which features all the Doctors Who now, but won't feature John Barrowman. All the Doctor Who, all the I think Davison through McGann recorded special things for it. I think they're using archive stuff for other Doctors. Michael Troughton is doing something as his dad. Patrick Troughton, of course, is the second Doctor. So this
Joe Martin's Doctor is even in there.
That's pretty cool. As well as John Colshaw doing the Brigadier, and Gemma Redgrave as Kate Stewart and stuff. So there's this is becoming a big thing, this immersive theater experience, which we can only guess will be like, because we're not there.
Tim Treloar is doing stuff, so I assume that's Third Doctor stuff.
Yep. Jonathan Carley is
He
the
is
War
excellent,
Doctor.
yeah.
Yep. Who's providing their talents for Big Finish. But John Barrowman. Go on.
10 days till this opens.
10
This is
days?
26th of May. I didn't realize it was that fast.
Yeah, I know, right? Like you think,
I wonder if we'll get the video portions on YouTube, because sometimes I do that with this immersive stuff.
Maybe
or at least
later.
clips of clips of them for promotional material,
like a trailer
purposes.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's difficult for people who don't live in London to go to this thing right now. So entice us, please. But yes, John Barrowman not in there. Also, Big Finish removed the upcoming Absent Friends audio story from the release schedule, which was going to feature John Barrowman and David Tennant as the 10th Doctor.
And it was, I think, number 50 in the series as well, so kind of like milestone-ish.
Yeah. I have to, at the risk of being unpopular, I don't know how I feel about this, because, John Barrowman was reprimanded back in 2008 by Julie Gardner. He apologized in 2008, and from all reports, the behavior stopped since then. And, I feel like he has been punished already, and I don't know how, there's a statute of limitations of stuff. It's not like he denied that this happened or anything. He actually felt bad about it even now and has apologized. Like, has he paid his dues is what I mean to say, that, that he deserves for stuff that he's been in now to sort of be removed from release schedules. I don't know. What do you two think about it?
I don't know.
No?
Yeah, that's basically my answer. I don't know. Like, I wasn't there to see it.
Right.
But presumably what he did, apparently some people kind of brushed it off, but that was the higher echelons, and some people at the lower echelons were not thrilled. So,
yeah.
I mean, but again, that's hearsay. I wasn't there for it. So
I mean, I know that, like, right now it's in the news. It's a thing that sort of that detracts from the overall product that you're trying to put forth. But I think at some point, and this is sort of a bigger society thing as well. Like, people who have apologized and have been reprimanded, I mean, at some point we sort of have to accept it. And okay, they've made amends for what they've done. They need to sort of be, welcomed back into society. It's if we immediately just sort of says, nope, whatever you did in the past, no matter how much you made amends for it, too bad, it's over for you. I don't know. I don't know if that's entirely fair.
Here's the other side of that, though.
Right.
Big Finish, who presumably have a very good relationship with all these people because they've worked with them on a bunch of stuff, made this decision. It's their decision to make.
It is, yeah,
it's
that's
their
true.
product they're putting out, so it's not our call.
That's true. That's true. It isn't. It wasn't a universal like everyone must ban John Barrowman from their things, but yeah, these are two things that have happened. I mean, maybe the Big Finish one sees release later on, perhaps. Who knows? The immersive theater thing, I can't imagine that he'll be in there because that seems to be a much more of a short term thing. But
there's also like was it Dancing with the Stars? Whatever TV show he presents, has come out to say that they have the official line is something about them not yet having made any decisions about him returning. So I mean, there's still other stuff up in the air and other stuff that's quite a bit bigger than Time Fracture or Big Finish.
Yeah,
because as impressive as those entities might be, they are still like pretty minuscule relative to like a national UK TV show.
You're saying a Doctor Who audio drama is smaller scale than a national TV broadcast of a variety show, Chris?
I think so. I think so.
Such blasphemy.
Controversial.
Honest.
Yeah. Anyway, I suppose that Doctor Who dodged a bit of a bullet by not having John Barrowman in Series 13, as was widely rumored. So yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know where any of this stuff is going to go.
No.
But whatever does happen, Dancing on Ice. There we go.
Yeah.
Whatever does happen is well out of our control, and so
here's one.
I'm choosing not to speculate.
It's if it means that people getting in the business now don't act like jackasses, so much the better.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, any sins of the past are lessons of the future, and hopefully the present. So that's one thing we can take from this, certainly. Let's talk about other Big Finish stuff, though. The Christopher Eccleston audio came out on May 13th. Ravagers, the first box set. Warren and I listened to the very first episode, at the very least.
Yep, haven't. And somebody, and this is what made me buy it, basically. Somebody put out a clip, and he said, "This is worth it for the box set alone," and it's basically Christopher Eccleston laughing, "Ha ha, you're a nerd!" And I'm like, okay, I have to buy this. I have to have that somewhere in my audio.
You made that your ringtone, yeah. I pre-ordered it. I pre-ordered it so long ago, I forgot about it. And I go, I bought that, right? Because I went and load up the Big Finish app, and sure, there it is. Download it, listen to the first episode, yeah. It's good. He's the Ninth Doctor. He's right there. Like that's
feels
him.
Like it feels like he never left, basically.
Yeah,
which is quite good. I mean, he's a professional actor, all that kind of stuff. He's I'm sure going to do well, but there's still a 15 freaking year gap, and that's a big gulf.
It's a skill, man. It's hard because actors make it look so easy. It's basically like editing. If they're doing it right, you don't notice.
I suppose, but it's like finding the role. I remember Patrick Troughton was nervous about the Three Doctors. Am I able to find this character again to be in this? And that was like 3 years after he left Doctor Who,
Yeah.
3. And he's played a ton of roles in between that, just like Eccleston has obviously played a ton of roles. And he hasn't been hounded by, I suppose in the early 70s, Troughton, there were no conventions or stuff like that. So once he left Doctor Who, he left Doctor Who. That was it. But for Eccleston to sort of have that character right there and accessible to him makes me wonder if, he didn't abandon Doctor Who as much as we thought he would have over the past 15 years, it's always sort of been there for him.
I got to think there's other resources as well, just beyond his memory and experience and recollections. Like you talk about Troughton, for example, in the early 1970s, how much of his Doctor Who performances and stories could he reference versus what Eccleston could go back and watch to regain the character? There's a huge Eccleston advantage there.
That's true. Yeah, Troughton didn't even have repeats. Troughton didn't even be able to see his own work because at the time they were shooting episodes on Saturdays when Doctor Who was airing. Basically, Fraser Hines never watched an episode of his go out because they were always shooting episodes on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So, I wonder how much Eccleston actually did go back to. He feels like the kind of actor who doesn't, retread stuff that he's done previously.
There's, lots of actors just won't watch their work.
Yeah.
For any number of reasons, just will not watch their work. I have no idea where he sits on that.
No.
You should have asked him that at Cali.
I might have. I don't know. It was a blur at some point, Back when I 100% single-handedly secured him for Big Finish, you mean? Not that
all
interview?
you.
That interview? Yeah, that one there.
That led to your midlife crisis, I'm sure.
Some call you hero.
Did.
Others also hero.
Yeah.
That guy in the mirror calls you hero, I'm sure.
Well, you are looking at the man in the mirror. You make that change.
He doesn't actually, no. He derides me, but that's a whole other story.
Wow.
The second Doctor Who Ninth Doctor Adventures box set comes out in August. It's called Respond to All Calls. That's the thing that's on the TARDIS thing there, the little manual there, which is pretty cool.
Does that mean the next one's going to be officers and cars?
Possibly. I don't know. Third one's coming out later. But the second one's coming out in August of 2021. You can pre-order it now. There's 3 stories in that one as well, just like with Ravagers, the Ninth Doctor Adventures. Soon there will be more audio adventures than there were screen adventures for Christopher.
I like the
very soon.
This one of the for the second set. There's one of the writers has the best name ever, Timothy X Attack.
That's a made-up name. That's a
made-up
name. Come on. The fact that you take out the 1 T in attack doesn't fool me. Does not fool me. Yeah. Neither the cat. Neither the words cat.
Podcat. Everyone, here's Kaylee, the podcast.
Hello,
She's saying
Kaylee.
hi.
Hello, Kaylee, the podcat. Oh, it's important that we have podcasts in this. Verity had podcasts over the years, and we've never really had one. So, hello, Kaylee.
That's because I shut the door when I record, and our cat died in September, or December rather. So
Wow,
yeah,
way to take it up a notch.
Yeah, R.I.P. Pepsi. Anyway, Chris Eccleston, second series, Respond to All Calls in August. Also, the Third Doctor Adventures, Facing the Draconians. That's coming in.
Yes, it's about damn time.
They've had the Draconians already.
This is not in the news list, but the latest Titan comics has the 10th and 13th Doctor facing the Sea Devils. Finally, the Sea Devils get their due.
I know in the volume 1 of the Sea Devils, yeah. That's
do they have the good Sea Devils or the less good Sea Devils?
The proper.
I have no idea. I just know they're facing them.
Yeah, the proper Sea Devils.
Are you admonishing their samurai helmets? Because the samurai agenda of season whatever that was I was a very big fan of that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Jodie Hauser was looking for input on Sea Devils and stuff, and so I'm pretty sure she's stuck with the Delgado Sea Devils and not the.
That would make sense. Yes, I mean you can
ones, yeah.
because it's comics, so why the hell not?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's cool. That's from Titan Comics. The Volume 1, I believe we talked about that. I think it's the first 5 or 6 issues or something of the 10th and 13th Doctor Series 2 adventure came out recently as a comic. So yeah, Third Doctor, though, Third Doctor Adventures Volume 8 is coming out in October.
I've listened to a couple of them,
yeah.
But I can't keep up, man. That's a lot of Big Finish.
It's a lot of stuff, man, Between all the banter on this episode, I mean, how much time do we have to listen to everything? It's tough. Like the K9 Annual. We're going to find time for the K9 Annual. The audio annual is coming out in November. You can pre-order it as well. It's the basically, stories about the K9. Andrew Smith's favorite Doctor Who character of all time. K9 is in his own, of course, is read by John Leeson, who's the voice of the dog, with Bonnie Langford, Dan Starkey, and Jeffrey Beavers also providing voices for that. So that's coming out in November.
In the green room, pre-recording, I gave rare praise to Ian Levine because much as the K9 and Company theme song is bad, it is catchy as hell.
Yeah, as the kids might say or have said, it slaps. I like that song. I don't care.
It is, in fact, a bop. Oh, God.
Yeah.
What have I become?
A bop.
It's pretty sick.
60s old.
We should just all stop this right now.
Once. And,
Weird flex, but I'll allow it.
No.
Anyway, coming November 4th, 2021. In time for Christmas, Christmas 2020. Speaking of things to look forward to, everyone, Christmas and stuff, and maybe even there might be a new Doctor Who series coming at some point. That was basically filmed through the entirety of COVID.
Hey, let's not go crazy.
Well,
here.
I know it's probably going to happen. There's probably going to be a Doctor Who series this year. That's something is not on my radar right now. I'm mostly just thinking about how to get through COVID, and then all of a sudden, oh, guess what? We made some Doctor Who's while you were all hiding in your.
Well, if everything goes bad because of some unknown variant or mutation or whatever, at least we'll have new Doctor Who to hide with.
I know. It'll feel weird because there have been other things that have come out. So they go, I sort of need this because of COVID, and like we got nothing else to do, so let's watch this new series. But even then, I feel like it's been difficult to separate the fantasy from reality. When it comes to new.
Let me get this
things.
straight.
Yeah.
We've got nothing else to do, so let's just watch Doctor Who. That is a phrase that has never until now escaped your mouth.
No. I mean, during COVID, like, I'm glad the series of The Mandalorian is
any
coming.
old series.
Yeah,
yes.
anything.
Gotcha. Yes.
Like during pandemic times, like, thank God this is here. We'll watch this now and stuff. And so it'll feel weird, like, hey, we finally were emerging from our COVID cocoon, and now there's a new series of Doctor Who. I wonder if our outlook of things will be different about the series because we'll be more like, yay, we could look forward to life again, as opposed to, well, Doctor Who's over, but we're still back in this morass,
Yeah, fair.
That sort of thing.
Well, we won't know until it happens.
We won't indeed. But
watch this space.
Ooh, we know nothing. Who does those things, though? Rachel Talalay. She started her own YouTube channel like this past week, essentially, with 2 videos. One for her behind-the-scenes knowledge of working on Freddy's Nightmare. Of course, she worked in the Nightmare. Nightmare.
Not all of them, in various capacities.
Those ones. I thought here's where my Doctor Who brain goes. I forgot the name of the movies, the Freddy Krueger ones. But I did, when I said Nightmare, I'm thinking, is it Nightmare in Silver or is it Nightmare of Eden? I can't remember which one of the two.
God.
It's the Nightmare Fair.
The Nightmare. The Grey Williams joint. Of course, that's right. She's made videos about her time working on that, and the second one, which is relevant to our interests, of course, is how we designed the castle. Heaven Sent Doctor Who. She's made a 10-minute video about working and designing the castle set for Heaven Sent. Of course, her epic masterpiece from 2015.
Neat.
So, links in the show notes. Do give it a watch. Rachel Talalay, dispensing wisdom from the television industry about how they made.
And she has plenty to dispense of. Let me tell you that.
Tons. So hopefully this is the start of something very big for Rachel Talalay.
Yes, her career as a YouTuber as opposed to her many and various accomplishments in television and film.
I mean, she directs like so much stuff for the CW in Vancouver, like right now. Like it's like she's basically that's what she does. Like
most,
they make.
As we record this, the most recent episode of Legends of Tomorrow was directed by her.
There we are.
And Riverdale, she does Riverdale stuff.
She does all the CW stuff, all the Arrowverse and Riverdale, and she did.
That's what
she did Sabrina stuff.
BC film industry employed.
Yeah. And indeed Rachel Talalay right now. Like, hey, if you can't fly around the world, it's great that most of the stuff that you're making is happening right in your backyard in Vancouver. All right.
The TV movie was shot.
That's right. 25 years ago.
And an upcoming bench will tribute that.
Yeah. I look forward to it, Warren. Take a picture with that bench when you do it. I want to see this.
I might just do it on paper and put it on bench just for the hell of it.
Print it off. 3D print. All right, folks. That's it. That's this portion of the podcast after the break. It's the Torchwood Revisited commentary series. They Keep Killing Suzie. Welcome back. It's Torchwood Revisited. It's episode 8 of series 1. It's They Keep Killing Suzie. Of course, it was known as
she probably had it coming.
She probably did. Of course, it was known as They Keep Killing up until 2 weeks, I think, before. I think they sprung it on it fairly quick to keep the surprise. And it worked. And it worked, I think, anyway.
Unlike having to pay Matthew Waterhouse to appear in Time Flight to keep the surprise.
Yeah, the radio times are just ready to spoil it. Indira Varma's return to Torchwood, but they got him. They got him. They did. Anyway, I hope you got your legally purchased Blu-rays, DVDs, VHS copies, video CD burns from 2006, all at the ready. Good, here we go. Torchwood, Season 1, Episode 8, They Keep Killing Suzie in 3, 2, 1, play.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but Torchwood is above the law and beyond the police.
No way! Outside the government. I would say above the law.
Yeah,
Well, they act like they're above the law. They're outside the government.
But did you know that the 21st century is where everything changes?
It is. This is back when it was like new. Oh, look at this. This is, I feel like we didn't get the full intro video, and now we're into like recap.
Yeah.
That's intriguing.
Blends together.
Yeah. That was like a part intro / it was very strange. Is that Yasmin Bannerman?
It is, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't think so.
No, it is. Yeah, sure enough. There it is.
All right.
Yeah. Of course, played Jabe in End of the World, and of course was on the Radio Free Skaro live show way back when. Oh yeah, I recognize the voice, even at the low volume that I have it in my head. That's definitely her.
That Bluetooth is so stupid.
It's just ridiculous. It's this giant prop. He's like,
Is it supposed to look like a sonic screwdriver or something?
I don't know. Or is it like a Cyberman head? I don't understand anything anymore. She's basically playing Lestrade to everyone else's Sherlock Holmes here. I don't recognize her hair without it being like a Owens is even huge. Look at that thing. He's got it's like a serrano pepper or something twisted around his ear. Oof. It's the Ripper. Ah. Always like the theme song for Torchwood.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty catchy.
Yeah.
And short.
It is pretty catchy.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. 10 seconds long, so that's fine.
Like, wow. I remember.
Who's the Greendale human being back over here? Whoa.
Oh, wow. So those are two names that I do not remember. Paul Tomlin and Daniel McCulloch.
I looked them up before we started recording, and you'll never hear from them again either.
Aren't they the guys that wrote Meglos? Isn't that right?
Yes, it was them, yes.
Obviously them. Obviously
Clearly.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Totally them. Wow. James Strong.
Mm-hmm.
What did he direct? I know we've done a miniscope on him, right? Or is it James Hawes? I always get Hawes and Strong mixed up.
Yeah, I do too.
Owen's got that 2006 casual thing down, except that damn Bluetooth totally takes it out.
I know.
He's like, I'm so cool. Oh, no Bluetooth. Never mind.
He did Cyberwoman and this for Torchwood.
Right.
For Doctor Who, Impossible Planet, Satan Pit, Dallas from Manhattan, Evolution of the Daleks, Voyage of the Damned, Partners in Crime, Planet of the Dead.
That's right. Yeah.
So half the stories he directed were not strong.
See what you did there. We
He
always
also
had him.
directed Grace Point as well.
That's right. Oh, no, Victoria, they made that. Victoria, BC.
5 episodes of Broadchurch. Hence, probably getting the gig for Grace Point.
I guess so. He seems to know what he's doing, they basically said.
Mm-hmm. And presumably would have met Chibnall on this or Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm. Because it is all who you know when it comes to the television industry.
Retcon.
It's going to be handy. Well, I've already used it, actually, on Gwen in the first episode.
Mm-hmm. And others.
Mm-hmm.
That almost looks like a fancy condo in the Torchwood outfit, area.
It does kind of. Yeah, nice one bedroom within the actual basement.
The proper answer is I forget how many people you give amnesia pills to.
See, Jack's hair is all floofy, and I like it. Owen's hair is all floofy, and I don't like it.
Really?
Owen's hair, it's like he's got a bad case of creeping faux hawk. It's coming up from behind.
A little,
He's not even aware
yeah.
of it.
It's got like a little too bad head, I think. But 2006, I probably look the same. At some point, man, I don't think I ever did. Mine was never sculpted like that, and I certainly don't have sideburns. So, although my hair is closer to Gwen's now than anyone else's. Thank you, pandemic. By the way, we're still in a pandemic when we record this. Never, God no.
Or when Warren does.
Yeah.
What do I do now?
You shave your head.
Yep. Haven't had a proper haircut for 20 odd years.
Yeah,
30.
I bet you haven't.
Think of the money you've saved
A lot.
Yeah.
on shampoo and haircuts and conditioner and mousse.
All these things. Just completely wasted on
All
you.
the mousse you didn't have to buy.
Yeah. You don't wear as many hats that I thought you might. Have to say that.
Nah, you just got to own it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Well, I mean, it might be cold. I mean, you're in Vancouver though, so nothing's ever cold.
I wear the occasional toque when it's cold.
Ah, that's good. You are Canadian after all.
Toque, not a beanie.
Thank you.
Philistines.
Thank you.
Mitten.
Mitten. Is this the guy for the first episode?
Could be.
Who they found in the
recall.
street? Oh no, they already resuscitated him, didn't they? 30 seconds. That's nothing. I tried to resuscitate a external hard drive, and I was able to get the files, but I can't open them.
Did you use this glove though? That's the
No,
thing.
I needed the glove, obviously. Paid like $80 for that software, and it says, "Oh, there you go. There are your files. How do you open them?"
It actually said,
Man,
This came up with a little guy shrugging on the screen.
it just I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want from me?
That is the glove of Rassilon, isn't it? Is it the same prop?
I'm not sure if it is.
That would be hilarious if it was.
It's got to make the sound.
Well, I'm surprised. It was probably dubbed on, but
Oh, I'm sure it was. It's
Yeah.
probably Foley, yeah.
Foley, Dave Foley, actually.
Don't bogart that glove, man. Pass it over.
Let's have some fun with this.
Is that Instant Pot behind him?
That's why it backfired on you. It relies on empathy. How many people have you killed
Don't
in the
put anyone
past?
near Owen, then.
Yeah, Owen, stay away.
How many children has he killed this series alone?
Yeah.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that, dude. Start answering questions.
I like how it's exactly 30 seconds.
Man, Yanto's not doing diddly.
Well, he's watching the stopwatch. That's important right now. Oh, well done.
I'm just saying, through the course of these episodes.
He is kind of quiet, isn't he? Apart from,
After making out with Jack for no particularly good reason in Cyberwoman.
Oh, he did.
I'm glad they had a happy life until Children of Earth, but
Was
that didn't make a lot of sense.
Was
in
that
particular
in
episode.
Cyberwoman? I haven't been paying no
I think it was, yeah.
Oh, wow. Golly.
That's a good line.
Yeah.
actually.
Yes. Is this the episode we get the other stopwatch mentions?
I don't think it's in this one. I feel
Later
like
on
it's
in
a
this
season
one, or-
2, but
Right.
I basing that on nothing because I know nothing.
It sounds like a song lyric from an 80s ballad.
Maybe it was. Maybe it's a reference from these two writers, the writers of Megloss.
They've resuscitated
Fans of
Morpheus.
Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah.
Something, something, false wisdom.
This guy seems remarkably calm about his death. Scott Pilgrim. $30. What? Max Capricorn?
Max Power.
Max Power.
Max Capricorn power.
Yeah. Oh. Was it Mary from the last episode? Is that the woman he's talking about? Sally Haven. Yeah.
He looks vaguely like my friend Len.
I know Len.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Ah.
Yeah, isn't that always a problem?
Yeah. I'm always doing that. Helicopter shot again.
You realize they probably use the same shots over and over.
No. They went out. There's 13 different episodes. They went out 13 different times.
Pretty sure Chris is right. And also, that could be stuff that they pilfered from some pool of Cardiff shots that they use in news and information programs. And
It could be stock stuff, especially all the stuff with Jack on top of buildings. Totally stock.
That is definitely stock stuff.
I'd
love to see a BBC report on whenever.
We were going to address
Have you not seen that in like David Attenborough?
That's true. We were going to have Jack. We were going to have Jack in a much different costume, but we had this stock footage B-roll of a guy in a World War II coat standing on the top of a building. We thought, well, tell you what, let's just put him in that we can use that footage.
We see here the immortal standing on top of the building for no reason whatsoever.
As a matter of fact, I think you'll find that every scene with Jack in it is just Jack composited from stock footage to the scene. They didn't actually pay John Barrowman a penny.
It turns out
I don't think they
keep killing Suzie.
Yes.
Sadly, Suzie did not survive.
When was BBC Earth? The first one. Is that the first one? Or Planet Earth? That was the big one. That was like
2008, 2009, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was a revolution, that thing. I was like, whoa.
It looked amazing. Yeah. They spent years and years shooting it, too.
Yeah. I mean, because I find this whole time fascinating in TV just because it was going from SD to HD, and some stuff was still SD and some stuff was still HD, and there was like SD channels and HD channels, and
stuff shown in widescreen wasn't necessarily HD.
Yeah. And, Babylon 5, for instance, it was mid to late 90s they made that show, but they shot it in widescreen under the anticipation because that it would go to be brought widescreen, even though they knew it was only going to air at the time in 4:3.
But they didn't have the horsepower to make the effects.
No, that's where it brought down. Yeah.
HD.
Yeah.
I'm actually meant to look up if Foundation Imaging still exists.
Oh, they did the model effects for it?
Yeah, that's what they were known for, is mostly that. No, it does not.
No. Not a lot exists from those days. Quite fascinating, really. Oh, that's a good set.
Well, they worked on Voyager Deep Space Nine. I didn't know that.
Pretty sure a lot of that is CG. Or maybe matte.
Maybe matte. Or it's a location, and like maybe what we're looking at here is the only bit that's actual.
It looked fake, like just the way it looked, just looked that fake look to it.
I feel like CG additions to scenes was not quite as big a thing in TV anyway. Like I'm trying to think, like Gladiator and Phantom Menace were like the first big films that sort of like had CG background sort of composited on live action footage that were big, and that was movies. I don't think that technology had quite trickled down to TV at this point. That's why I find this whole era fascinating to me. Do it, Yanto. Come on. Yeah. Indira Varma, who's gone on to a hell of a career after this.
Mm-hmm. Luther,
Game of Thrones, tons of stuff.
She was in that, huh? Okay.
Oh yeah, she's in a lot of that. Yeah. She played the wife of Alexander Siddig in Dorn in the basically fake Spain, and
Yes.
Remember that? Towards
Vaguely,
the end,
yes.
last couple, 2 or 3
I've forgotten a
seasons.
lot about Game of Thrones.
I'm one of the few people who liked the last few episodes, so like, but
I liked some of the last few
Yeah.
episodes, but that 9/11 nonsense at the end there was not good.
I feel like I know that I'm kind of in the minority, so I don't bother talking about it because there's no point in trying to seek out someone who also likes it because you know that 20 other people are going to hate it. But it kind of killed it, we don't meme anything from Game of Thrones anymore. It's just like, nope, out, gone, get out.
I saw a Winter is Coming meme on Facebook earlier today.
Facebook.
First one in a very long time, but it's there.
And Facebook is where memes go to die.
Yeah. As we record this in mid-February, dear listener, you're hearing this in mid-May, but it's winter. It's winter and we're in the middle of a pandemic, which likely you aren't. Everyone's vaccinated and cured and getting ready to fly down to
listening to this at a restaurant.
Yeah,
With
going to San Diego Comic-Con or getting ready to at the very least. Oh, the world's such a much better place in May of 2021.
I'm pretty sure that's not true.
Enjoy the future. That's quite a dark. It's just like, oh, I regret that. This is a clever hook, I will say, for Torchwood to do. First off,
agree, yeah.
casting her as a character, including her in all the publicity shots, everything else, opening titles, then the killer. You weren't expecting it, and then to bring her back.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, like, I haven't watched the Torchwood Declassified, but I wonder, like, when the idea of bringing her back came to be. Was it during the original planning for the whole season? Is it,
I would be shocked if it was anything but that.
No. Because, boy, if Indira Varma was not, like, available, it's like, oh, boy.
Just like being with John Malkovich.
I watched that movie once.
It's very entertaining.
I seem to be, yeah. I only remember the scene where he's walking along the side of the road and somebody throws a beer can at him, but think fast.
Because it's like being in
Malkovich.
Alberta again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I didn't know they shot that in Alberta. Red Deer County. Ah, good old Wales. Good old Cardiff. So you're saying, Chris, that I wouldn't recognize... Oh, that's gross.
Ooh, dear.
Yeah, that's some good effects there.
It's a bit grisly.
It's a bit grim. It's countryside grim.
We're not starting that again, are we?
No, we're not.
It made me happy.
That made me happy. Hope she's not in pain. Yeah. Paul Tomlin and Dan McCulloch.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Like I say, you can look at this stuff, you're probably not going to recognize anything. I guess he's producing his Dark Materials, which is a current BBC One thing.
Oh, yeah.
And HBO.
Everyone's got their little pets running around and stuff, yeah. Oh, it was an
Yeah.
executive
I tried
producer.
watching that, couldn't get into it.
No, I watched the first episode. That wasn't for me. Basically, this is the only thing he ever wrote. And he's been producer in a lot of stuff. So good for him. Maybe that way. But Paul Tomlin, who the hell are you, man? That is fascinating. I just find...
Why do they have the Fourth Doctor's vortex in the background?
They should. That would be the ultimate in hat tips and Easter eggs.
This is not the time of the hat tip.
No. He's a writer, I guess. I don't know what the TV show No Offense is, but yeah, he's written very little. It's quite something. Paul Tomlin. Everybody's happy. I was talking over it. I missed why she's still alive. Why didn't she die?
As bottle episodes go, this isn't too bad since they're just using the one standing set, from what I can tell.
Yeah, pretty much. How is she still alive right now? I missed that bit. Chris, were you paying attention?
Something to do with her.
Okay. She redeems herself at the end of this, doesn't she? And then she dies on a road somewhere.
Vaguely remember that?
Yeah.
It would make narrative sense.
But I can't quite remember.
It was something to do with the knife. I don't know.
The knife? I don't know. I imagine we might find out as the course of this episode goes on, but you never know. They might not explain it. They might just say, no, to hell with it. You're on your own. We're wrapping this episode 7 minutes early, actually. We're not even going for 7 minutes longer. This is a longer episode, this one, 52-ish minutes. Wonder how it aired on CBC back in the day. They aired the whole thing? Did we get cuts
a lot
for
of
it?
ads for hockey.
Yeah. Because hockey
It's
was
street legal, which I don't think was happening at the time.
No, not even the reboot. No, it only lasted 1 year, that reboot. Street legal.
What about Mr. D? This is around the era of Mr. D.
Oh, I think this is even before Mr. D.
Which, for anybody listening who isn't Canadian, it's a terrible show.
Oh, I never watched it.
I never did watch that.
Yeah.
Well, for good reason. It's awful.
Although as we record this, we are halfway through the last season of Schitt's Creek. Which
Are you really?
is more enjoyable than I thought it might be.
Eric has been watching it as we record this while doing puzzles and stuff, and it seems passable fare.
It's all there on CBC Gem.
Well,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
won a ton of Emmys, so somebody's doing something right.
It did win a
It
ton
did.
of Emmys.
The final season did, anyway, yes.
Yeah. Doesn't
It's
quite
a-
have
it's a-
enough.
There we go. We're out of the
Oh.
bubble. We're in a club scene.
I know.
It's a fun show. That said, I'll watch almost anything with Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara in it.
That's true. Eugene Levy can wear a suit like nobody's business in that show.
Yeah. I miss clubs. I know I've been to one in a while, but I think I kind of want to
don't
go to them again. I don't know. It just feels like let's do
I
that.
somehow can't envision you going clubbing.
Really? Oh God,
No,
yeah.
neither
I used to go dancing a lot. Like as recently as like 3-4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Put a shirt on, club goer.
Sometimes it's hard enough to drag you out to a bar in general.
Bars. I like the disco dance. I like to dance.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe not as much anymore. I am in my mid-40s, but
You are ancient.
I'm
I say
ancient.
that as one of the immortal ones.
And as you know, music is nowhere near as good as it was in 1979 when it comes to dance music. So I don't know why they try.
Well,
but
of course.
yeah,
I can see they've got the music down low, and people are trying to dance like it's high, but are not succeeding.
I know. I always watch nightclub scenes with. I mean, there at least this kind of chaos feels right. But I do always.
Watching extras is always fun.
Yeah, I always hate it when I watch, nightclub scenes and they all sort of like come up as so, what are you doing here? I'm thinking, no, you should be yelling. You should be yelling. It's the
I
old.
enjoy even CG extras. There's the big scene in Avengers Endgame where they're all rushing towards Thanos, and they pull back, and you see the Hulk CG Hulk. Well, it's obviously CG Hulk, and he just gives this kind of half-hearted roar that you can't unsee once you see it. You're like, oh, he's not really into it. He's just kind of like, I'm here for the paycheck, I guess.
Okay, there's 120 of you in this scene, but nobody upstage anyone. That includes you,
Yeah,
Hulk.
the Hulk's just like, which is, I guess, in character, given he does similar things earlier on for a laugh.
Yeah, I suppose. And he's kind of winding down, He's more like
That's true, yeah.
He's reading poetry in coffee shops halfway through that movie.
No, you apparently watched a different film than I did, where he competed in a slam poetry competition.
Oh. Doesn't he wear like a sweater or something and has like
He wears glasses.
he wears glasses? Yeah. I've only seen the movie once, all right? I've seen it as many times as I've seen this episode, apart from what I'm watching right now, which is the second time. So
You've seen this more than you've seen Avengers Endgame. Shame on you.
I have, yeah.
I've seen this more than Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
Because I've seen Endgame
What's wrong with you
twice.
people?
Twice.
wrong
You
with
saw
you
it
people?
twice. Wow.
Once in the theaters, and then a few weeks ago, as we record, Watched all 4 of the Avengers films over a couple of days.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What was your take on him?
Just the 4 Avengers films, not the entire MCU stuff.
Right.
Take a lot of work.
Yeah. I was always middling on them. I probably still am. There's some good, fun stuff in there, but all the whole Vision and Ultron stuff, just I never cared about that.
Do you mean at the end? That's the best part of the whole movie.
And no, like at the the whole the build up, like Age of Ultron kind of thing.
Oh, I see. Right.
And,
Gotcha.
and the development of Vision and stuff. It's like no, this wasn't my.
I just
wasn't
love the bit
wasn't
at
my
the end
cup
where
of tea.
Vision and Ultron square off.
Oh, I watched them once. It was fun. It was fun being part of the experience in the theater. The popcorn is good, but I don't need to.
Well, I'm admittedly more of a Marvel nerd than you guys are.
You are indeed.
Yeah.
They're crammed full of stuff.
Meanwhile, Susie's waiting for her husband to come back from the sea.
A little bit, yeah. At least they covered up the wound. I mean, thank God for that.
That's why.
Yeah, why
that's
isn't
there.
this handkerchief just sticking right out because the
Yeah.
wound's back there with that spike coming out of it?
Yeah. Also, you don't have to create the makeup for it too for the second day on set, but and it's grim, like in Countryside up north.
I was glad that Susie, having been stabbed with that knife, and she shot herself and whatnot. I was glad there's not tea leaking out of her. Whatever,
Good
like
God.
a cartoon.
Yeah, like it's something from Death Becomes Her or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not available on any streaming service.
Is it? I've never
meant to
seen
see it, and
Wow.
according to just watching it, is not available except to rent.
Did you just search for that, or do you search that beforehand and not
I searched that a couple days ago. Yeah.
Okay, and the 4 seconds since I mentioned it, you decided to look it up. I mean, that's Chris style speed Googling right there.
No, not an insane lunatic. Come on.
More importantly, why? Why?
Would you want to watch Death
I've
Becomes
seen
Her?
it. I saw it in the VHS after it came out, but
Right.
why?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater, and it's because
The visual
mostly
effects.
because it's special effect. The visual
Yeah.
effects are pioneering for the time. And I remember not thinking it was all that great at the time, but also being 23, so I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe I'll appreciate it more now.
Like everything, like disco dancing, perhaps. Like proper disco dancing, Warren.
Maybe even illustrated.
Okay, that's quite enough. You're digressing here, Jack.
His non sequiturs are the best part of his dialogue.
Yeah, that's probably true. Not even non sequiturs. They're probably just John Barrowman's experiences.
I feel like we've had basically Jack Light episodes the past couple of weeks. He's here to offer a kind word and sit at his desk. He hasn't been
There
the
for a
central
good
point.
time, not for a long time.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know how long they... I know the Doctor... Did we mention this already? Doctor Who took 12 days to shoot, 12, 13 days for an episode back then. Maybe still does. I don't know how long they took to shoot a Torchwood episode. Was it the same?
Well, this one
amount?
less because it's in mostly in this one set.
In the
right?
contained
So-
set, I feel like they would just be quicker. Yeah. And also because, the budget is less, and so they don't have as much time. There's not as much of a guest cast, apart from the nightclub scene that we saw, but just fascinated by the logistics of it.
Also, I'm wondering if they have another nightclub scene at some point. Will that be the exact same nightclub? I would bet it will.
Yeah. And of course, it is a nightclub. That's the thing with Doctor Who / Torchwood in those days. It's if we're going to make something that looks anything like an actual thing, we're just going to use the actual thing and not build it in a set. And I felt like they've, the Doctor Who production team has gradually gravitated towards building the sets as opposed to finding the locations. Now that they have more room, perhaps at the studio. There's been so many sets in Doctor Who that Michael Pickwood built, and I thought, oh, that's a set. Wow.
That's true.
I thought they were on location for that. They would have easily gone on location for that in 2005 or 6.
Well, depends. If you can get more shots in different angles you couldn't get, in a real place. Then why not?
I mean, it's, building a set, it sounds like it would be expensive, but it is so much less expensive because A, you can get exactly what you want out of a set, and B, you don't have to pay for hotel rooms for the cast and crew, and that's the big reason why budgets get inflated.
It's always interesting practical stuff. People assume it's just all whatever, what they can see, and a lot of it isn't.
Yeah,
I was actually listening to this podcast called Screaming into the Hollywood Abyss. It's all people who work in Hollywood talking about their failures. It's actually quite good.
Oh, wow.
One guy, the guy they had today was Robert Hewitt, who wrote for Star Trek, and he was showrunner of Andromeda. And he was talking about how they were given the dictate of having a space opera, but they didn't have any money. And he's like, and honestly, most of the money went to Kevin Sorbo.
Oh no.
Well, the thing is, Kevin Sorbo aside, he also made the point. He's like, if you're watching Elementary, there's no point in having a bunch of special effects. The special effects are close-ups of the two stars. That's what everybody's watching for, whether you like it or not. And I'm like, he's kind of got a point there.
Screaming into the Hollywood Abyss, you said.
Yeah, it's quite good. I might be screwing up the name.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm curious by this. Especially people who worked in the Star Trek mill during the TNG and DS9 eras.
And this guy did. DS9 and I believe maybe Voyager.
Because they shot those episodes in 8 days. 8 days! That's basically like a classic Who episode, you know? But they were all like on the standing sets. You know, it's rare that they went anywhere else on a TNG episode. One of my favorite anecdotes from when, Patrick Stewart was reminiscing. I can't remember who asked him a question. So you do remember this episode and what you did there. And this is, here's the thing. Here's why I don't remember a single thing about my time on Star Trek. It's basically he would sit in his captain's chair and they would shoot a bunch of scenes in one episode and 3:00 would hit. Nope. Yeah, exactly. we just wrapped that scene. And then 10 minutes later, in comes a new director. Here's your script. Here we're shooting the next episode. You're seated in the same chair, basically, and then he just reads his lines from there. It's like, what's a different episode? Apart from the one that maybe they went a location or the inner light because he's wearing a different costume. But other than that, there's no difference.
To praise editors, they make it look like that's a whole lot different days and cinematographers too, I suppose. But
yeah,
the pacing is what changes that up.
Yeah. It's why I don't poor actors being asked by idiots like us. What do you remember, actor, about being on set this day with that particular actor? They're going, I was there for half a day. We shot it in the middle of a different episode entirely, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
That makes me think of whenever people were working on SCTV and they're like, what was it like? And they're like, I have no idea. We drove to ITV in the middle of the night, did the show all day, went back to our hotels and went to sleep.
Pretty much.
In the middle of an Edmonton winter.
For 3 years, that's what we did. Sat in our hotel room, wrote things to be funny because we had nothing else to do, went and shot it, went home.
One of my favorite SCTV memories is Rick Moranis as Francis Ford Coppola panhandling for money for his latest film in front of the late lamented Paramount Theater, downtown Edmonton.
Oh, wow. The building still stands, but it has been many years since a theater has been in it. But it still says Paramount on the outside.
But I saw many a film there, including Terminator 2.
Terminator 2. That was...
And Aliens, I believe.
Terminator... Who directed that one? That was... De Palma, wasn't it? Oh. This is a charming little rom-com here too, with Gwen and Susie. I don't actually trust her. I don't trust her.
No, I don't either.
Neither should you.
No, you remember this episode?
Deadly babushka.
Yeah.
Death.
Do you remember this episode, Chris? Is it coming back to you, or you watched it?
No,
in the last 15 years. Okay.
Bits and pieces, same as everything else.
Yeah. I mean, I've already forgotten or just didn't pay attention as to why Susie is still alive. Why didn't she die after 30 seconds?
What's his name? Owen explained. She's draining the life force from Gwen.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's right. There we go.
So that's one I did pay attention to.
Well done. You might say life force dying. Life force dying. Mentiads.
I had totally forgotten that.
Yeah. Oh. Not me, Warren. You don't want to know how many times I have seen the Pirate Planet in comparison to Avengers Endgame. Let me tell you.
Dear God, man.
It must be
Absolutely
in the
criminal.
10s or 20s. So many times have I seen the Pirate Planet, and it's the best. It's so much better than Avengers Endgame. I can't
How dare you?
begin to tell you how great that story is. I haven't seen it in a while either. So, like, right now I'm thinking, I wonder how that Avengers Endgame turned out. I don't care. I want to watch the Pirate Planet again.
I'm sure you're in the majority on that.
I am. I think a lot of people do, Warren. I think you'll find that most people will want to rather watch the Pirate Planet instead
You can't even finish that
of
sentence.
Avengers Endgame. It's basically the same story, as I recall.
Uh-huh.
I don't
Is a
remember.
little bit, but anyway.
It's a planet. It jumps around, it destroys
There's
other
a bunch of
planets,
jewels that a man's collecting.
right? There's a flying robot parrot is in both movies, as I recall.
I believe that's accurate. No, it's not.
Thank you. I thought it was. I don't remember anything about Avengers Endgame. Apart from that bit at the end, everyone comes back and they beat somebody up, but I don't remember
Well,
who
that's
they
because
beat
you're an
up.
awful person, you see.
I am pretty bad. Yasmin Bannerman was great, though, on our RFS live show. Because I always, it's such a unique situation because oftentimes, it's their first, because we're the first thing on during the convention. And so, like, it's their first time participating in the convention. And if it's their first convention, then you can kind of tell how wide-eyed they are. I remember like Rachel Stott and Sarah Dollard, and both had like their first convention experiences basically on stage with us. God, I hope it improved them. And then
Yasmin Bannerman being super friendly and nice.
she was so friendly, but I could tell that, because they walk on, it's like, yep, you were on the big stage, and like, here we are, and there's a bunch of people out there, and it feels weird because, they're pros, they are actors, they've obviously been in this situation, but to be on a stage in front of fans is a new experience to them, but it's not new to us. So for a scant few seconds, it feels like we have more experience at this than you do as an actor, and it's very odd.
You're alone on that one, or at least I don't feel that.
I mean, they obviously
they're still in charge.
They settled down and they're in charge, but I mean, you could tell that like the reaction is slightly like it kind of catches them off guard a little bit. It's
yeah, but they're pros, so they recover.
they're probably exactly, but it's those first few seconds that I always cherish, thinking, this is great, and it's good because they're getting a big round of applause, and just like this is like, acting is at times a solitary profession apart from the people you're acting with, but the appreciation isn't usually you don't get to show appreciation that much from the audience. You don't get that in a regular sort of acting gig, except for like Doctor Who and stuff. And so for it to have that round of applause and stuff, it felt I was glad that she was getting the attention.
I don't know, NCIS Con, which probably exists.
Yeah, like EastEnders Con, like, I remember you from
This
that
car ride is endless, by the way.
It does take a while, doesn't it? Are they driving, or are they being towed behind?
They're being towed.
Yeah.
But at least she's not doing that film thing of just moving her arms all over the damn place.
I am driving a car.
I'm like,
Do, 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 do. Yeah. Maybe not as many people drove back then. Maybe that was it. And so, like, how do you drive? Or maybe just like old timey cars. You just had to keep like moving the wheel back and forth. Otherwise, you just go right off the road.
and running right into a communist.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, is this because there's a stretch of road that basically goes to nowhere. They built some sort of bypass or something, and they never finished it. So it's a road that goes nowhere. Wayne Yip was explaining this, and so a lot of TV shows like Doctor Who, they shot the car chase bit in Resolution there. Mm-hmm. Because it's a road that they can basically easily shut down because it goes nowhere. So they don't have to divert any traffic or anything. And I'm watching this road right now, and I think this is an actual road. I don't think it's that fake road.
I bet they're looping around.
Yeah, I mean it's a straight road, and the UK isn't known for their long straight roads. They're probably going like 30 kilometers an hour.
Oh yeah,
it's like a nonstop playground zone or something.
Or it's a process screen behind them and a bunch of interactive lights, but that seems like more complicated than just towing.
Way more complicated, especially for 2006. No, this feels real. This is proper actual real.
Well, it could actually just be a stagehand whipping a flashlight over there.
No, you look at there. That's actual,
there we go.
Yeah, right, they're drawn by trees. Yeah. They're being towed behind a car. I imagine there's got to be microphones. I'm always fascinated by microphones because they've been wearing like compact microphones since like the McCoy era, of TV, But I always like where do they stick those microphones on them? Because, you when you watch like the news and you can see the clip-on microphone and everything, but you obviously have to conceal it, but it also has to be like in a place where it's not like rustling clothes or anything like that and still picks them up. But you can totally tell, like the thick of it, for instance, is and in the office, the UK office, it's actually part of the plot. They're wearing these microphones as well, but you never see them. And I'm always quite impressed by that.
But they could just have those as backup and they're going to Foley it anyway.
They could, yeah.
Or ADR, I mean.
Yeah. Although I think it's a more common thing. You don't see as many. Well, you do see booms now, but for instances where they can't sneak into boom, they'll probably sometimes wear those.
Now, is this the hospital that Matt Smith is in the 11th Hour?
Or in the Power of Three is another hospital episode.
Or is it just that they all have that terrible puke green paint?
Yeah, well, it is a hospital after all. I feel like she should be in more episodes. This police captain sergeant that Yasmin Bannerman's playing.
Give Torchwood priority. Who?
Who are they? The guys.
The secret organization.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, whatever.
The Land Rover. The Land Rover. Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, that one goofy Land Rover we all avoid.
Yeah, it's got like... There's like a spotlight on the roof, and it just projects Torchwood up above it, and you can see it in the sky when you're driving around.
I think I might have made this stupid comment back in the day, but I just want to see Jack as the siren. Torchwood!
Mm-hmm.
It's actually kind of a cool idea that she's being shot in the head slowly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot all about this. Oof. It's grim, Warren. It's grim.
Grim. Which means it's adult and post-watershed.
It is. Ooh. That would be awful to have a slow building head wound.
I don't expect it's the kind of thing you're going to try to find out, though.
No.
Probably not. Oh dear.
Did she pull out one of his chest hairs to wake him?
No, he pulled out his oxygen. Yeah, which is slightly worse.
That's right. Jack had it all wrong, thinking that she wanted to come back to help her save him, but nope, it's the opposite.
Mm-hmm. Kill him off because she's evil.
I gotta give the Torchwood this. Ray Gold's music is as good as ever.
Is
You're wondering if it's Boulder Foster?
Yeah, because they're both credited. I want to say it's more Foster, but
again, they have that looks like 11's opening, a vortex opening in the back of the car.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Or like a flux capacitor, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. 1.21 gigawatts. Yeah. Is that an accurate map? Is that what they are actually driving? Now, I don't believe for a second that the land there. I don't think this is on the road because it's just sort of. Well, maybe it is, just because you can't see out the window. Whoa, the last and final time. That's the same thing. That means that's tautological. Mm-hmm.
Thanks, little guy from the Sontaran two-parter.
Little guy from the Sontaran two-parter. And you know where I went? I went Sontaran Experiment. It's a two-parter. It's Sontarans. That's not the one you meant.
No.
You have the right paperwork.
Yeah.
Glorious ending.
The little SWAT guy from the Sontaran Series 4 Sontaran two-parter.
Yeah. Oh.
Uses tautology.
Did we watch that recently?
For a miniscope of some sort.
No, McKinnon. The Douglas McKinnon miniscope. Yeah, that's right.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Be about right.
Yeah. I don't know how you feel about the camera work swinging off. And I was watching an episode of TNG for a podcast recently as we record this, season 3. And I was struck about like how stationary the camera is back in TV in those days. You know, like everything's on a tripod. There's any indication that anything's going to be handheld. It was kind of quaint, and I kind of missed it. I didn't want to sound like I was like, oh, new TV, and they're moving around and stuff. But it was nice. It was cozy. Remember when NYPD Blue was like just blew the doors off of like the way TV was produced?
I remember watching it going, I can't follow this.
That was mostly it. It was
a joke.
It was just like it would be intriguing to go back and watch NYPD Blue with their extreme handheld cameras. Yes, Chris?
Well, there's a Torchwood soundtrack released in 2008, which I either forgot about or just didn't know about.
Oh.
Probably forgot about. Okay, this part I remember, running down the pier.
For some reason, I remember this being at set at night, but it wasn't.
Well, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Really.
No, he'll shoot you. I wasn't expecting that, actually.
Yeah, there we go.
I wasn't expecting that. He just shoots everyone. Oh, but she's not dead.
You got to plug her right in the brain, to quote Miller's Crossing.
Oof. Probably the most popular Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
How dare you, once again.
It's important to vary the eras of my my director trolling. And then shoot her. Code 5. Is Code 5?
Incur the wrath of Rassilon.
Yes.
Rassilon the Resurrected?
Incur the Rathalon?
I will not die, despite my speech 20 years ago.
Yeah.
To 5 previous doctors. Oh, I miss my mutton chops.
Be sure. Be very sure.
This is the game of Rassilon.
I love it. We would be so upset today if that was Rassilon at the end of like the Day of the Doctor or something.
I would be upset, yes. It's much better than Timothy Dalton. Having said that,
yes,
I would kind of like to see some sort of naughty fan vid where somebody managed to composite that guy in or green screen themselves as him.
Timothy Dalton as Rassilon, you mean, in the 5 Doctors? Or vice
Somewhere
versa?
There's a nerd who's angry because it isn't like, I just find it kind of amusing. They just threw continuity out the window, as Doctor Who is wont to do. But some nerd out there is very angry about that, I'm sure.
Yeah. There's a popular song apparently being played over right now.
Yep, this is definitely never used anywhere else but just Torchwood.
I have no idea. Some song by Lamb. It said it in the captions. Oh. Yeah.
Gotcha.
There is a video by Lamb that is insane that I cannot find.
Yeah, Grecki by Lamb. And there's a Travis song in there too, apparently too.
Help me out, audience. There's a video by Lamb.
Yeah.
Reused in the series because this is in episode 1 as well, I think.
Was it really?
Yeah.
What was the what are you
audience
seeking?
appeal here.
What's that? What do you?
So
what's
there's this video that Much Music used to play by Lamb.
Oh
And
God!
it starts with this kind of weird jazzy entrance, and the singer's just standing there, and all of a sudden they hit a switch, and she has this giant paper mache head for the chorus, and I cannot find that video anywhere. And I'm like, did I make it up? Is that a thing that was in my head?
It's
I
by
know
Lamb,
this is
you
on Much
say, the
Music.
band Lamb.
I'm pretty sure it's by Lamb. Yes.
Okay.
I always get the bands Lamb and Lamb of God confused because Lamb is the chill out one,
Yeah.
and Lamb of God is like death metal, and
Yep.
for some
Very,
reason
very
I
different
get
bands.
them mixed up. They sound nothing like each other.
I can't help you out on that one, Warren. I don't. I've never heard of Lamb
Yeah.
until today. So, what kind of outfit were they? Were like trip hop, like Portishead kind of thing? Is that?
In that general neighborhood,
Ish,
yeah.
I like Portishead.
I also like Portishead.
Yeah, I think the first DVD I bought was a Portishead concert, believe it or not. Death by Chocolate. Oh, I like mine better, but
That's right. Admit defeat, or not defeat,
Yeah.
guilt. That's what word I'm looking for.
yeah. Own up. Oh, like policemen. And, crinoid seed pods. But
There are 2 Rassilons.
does he have one? Do you have the other one? Oh, I don't trust you, Anto, all of a sudden. He's probably bringing his cyber girlfriend to life again. So I'm reliably informed by listening to a Verity episode that Kat has said no one needs to see this episode ever. Apparently it's bad. Random shoes.
That's possible. I'll tell you what. I can ask her about it, and just remind me to, mention whatever she says at the start of when we do this one.
Yeah, I'm intrigued because I don't remember anything about that one either.
I remember liking it a lot at the time, and I think I was in the minority.
You were.
I don't remember anything.
No, I don't remember. You weren't on the show yet, were you? Yes, you were. You were on the show.
No, not yet.
2006? Oh, I thought you were 2007. When you were? Oh.
Yep. But, I mean, I still watched the darn thing.
Yeah, obviously, because you're a nerd, like we were, and still are.
They just were.
Yeah. Oh, look at how slow these credits go. Like I'm reading them all. Like it's quite.
Yeah, why aren't
something.
they zipping out at the sides? You can sell
I
me
know.
car shield insurance.
Yeah.
Or skip to the next video
Yeah.
on Netflix.
All right, folks. I hope you're enjoying these. That's it then. Until next time, which of course is the random shoes commentary, the show-stopping random shoes commentary. Stick around for that one next week. Until then, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Born in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro. Subscribe to us on iTunes and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.